Welcome to Holding Space. Michael Zen is a visual producer and creative photographer using his imaginative visionary energy to channel Zen and hold space for spiritual and innovative discussion. Each episode creates a supportive, accepting, and open environment that allows exploration and expertise to come together with engaging and entertaining convergence. With guest and community all helping the shape of the way, Michael is grateful to be together to hold space. Now here is your host of Holding Space, Michael Zen.
Yes, here I am, Michael Zen. I think that's me. No, I know that's me. I made it. You made it. We made it. We're here together. I'm excited to be here on the Sacred Spiral Network. I think that's kind of going to be the theme of tonight, just the power of the moment, the power of this network. If you are here and you're here regularly, welcome. You know what the routine is. If you're there, just comment #live in the comments, and what that does is tells the algorithm that we are here. We're going to have a conversation, and people with like interests will get it in their feed, and we will grow this community. So if you don't mind doing that, I would appreciate it. I see there's a bunch of people out there. I don't know who's out there right now. I'm not seeing any of the comments for some reason, but all good. I know you're out there. I see the numbers, and I feel the love. So if you don't see me popping up comments, it's just because I don't see them. Maybe Kelly will be able to do it from the back if she's seeing it. Oh, I see some comments popping up. I see Arnie. What's up, Arnie? I see Jennifer McCormick. So here we are, February 17th. Time is going a nice pace. I feel like each week is happening pretty routinely, but nice and slow, not too fast. I don't feel like each week is coming at me like, oh my God, it's Tuesday again. Here I am in Holding Space. I'm like, it's Tuesday. I get to address my peeps and the Sacred Spiral Network. So again, I want to give a shout out to the Sacred Spiral Network because it has become such an amazing place with an amazing audience and amazing shows and just an amazing connection, a vibration that's being intentionally created en masse by a bunch of people who are putting their energy into it, which I just love, and it definitely creates a good place to be. So welcome if you guys are here, and it's nice to see Evelyn and Lorraine and Nandita and Evelyn and Gregory. So many names now coming up. I see everybody's filling in the seats. Now I feel better. I didn't know if sometimes you don't know with technology if it's actually going on or you're broadcasting live at all. So thank you guys. So let's do what I've been doing. It's become a little bit of a routine, and also not just really for the show, but just to make sure I do it myself, right? And that is to take 3 breaths in, very intentionally think about them, feel them coming in, release them, and just kind of all do it together and clear the space with intention. I do that with my bowl of sage here, with the beautiful flower of life inside and on the outside. I love this bowl so much. So let's do it together, in through the nose, a little hold, and out through the mouth, and an intentional, or even if you're feeling it. If you're alone, nobody's gonna know. All right, here we go. In through the nose, hold a second, and then release what you don't need. Let's do it again. In through the nose, up to the top, and then hold and release. One last one together. Nice deep one. Let it out. So nice. Oh, I love sage. It's still going. I don't know if you hear it, but I do. I feel it right next to my face. It's beautiful. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Breathing is fundamental. We know that. So people in my show know that breathing is fundamental. Um, and so again, one more time, three cheers for the Sacred Spiral Network. I can't say it enough. It's just so cool. And there's a reason I'm saying it tonight, and that is because my guest is kind of the cornerstone founding creator of the Sacred Spiral Network. And I want to talk about that a little bit. I don't think people know the whole story. Maybe some people do, but I think it's a great story. I think it's a foundation of where we are at this moment. And then, of course, I would love Kelly to do some of her magical things that she does. So welcome back to Holding Space. Once again, the amazing Kelly Brickel. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hello, Michael. How are you? Happy
I'm
Year of the
good.
Fire Horse, like I said earlier.
Yes. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everybody. I meant to say Happy New Year to everybody, but you reminded me. Thank you. Yeah, I am excited. I think it's kind of significant actually now that you're saying it out loud that you're my first guest in the new year. uh, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm always very grateful for the way that we met and what has happened since then. Being able to work with you as a part of the Sacred Spiral Network is great. Even just to be the littlest fractal of it, I love it, and the community is great too. And what I think is so cool is kind of I had my own little live stream of consciousness community, and I brought them over, and they all fell in love with the Sacred Spiral Network, and a couple of them even have shows now on the Sacred Spiral Network, which is great. Grace Grella and Brian Lahr. So it's great that we're just growing and expanding this community all the time. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very grateful, and we're all fractals in the universe, just figuring out how to shine as best as we can. So thank you for introducing me to such wonderful people right back, Michael. I'm incredibly grateful.
Yeah, totally, totally. And I feel like that's always been kind of part of what both of us do, right? We're just both like when we do our broadcasts, we just want to connect people, right? It's not like you or I are coming on a show being like, I want people to know who I am and I want to be a an internet influencer. You know what I mean? Like, I see
This
some
is Sacred
people.
Spiral.
Yeah, I see people, online. They're talking about their follower counts. Oh, my account went down. I'm like, I don't even know what my count is. You know what I mean? I just know who shows up and how much love they bring. You know what I mean? And that's really all that's important. So I love what you've created. I love being a part of it. But I want to talk about the story because that's kind of when I met you. We started talking about the network in general, the idea of having a place where there are shows about different metaphysical modalities and things that aren't necessarily talked about in the mainstream, and then somebody who might be interested in one modality sees, oh, look at this person who's doing this other thing, and then they start to kind of expand their own kind of essence and knowledge of the different things. And it's interesting too because I feel like it didn't start necessarily on the metaphysical, it started more on the paranormal, which are connected for sure.
Oh, you mean like, oh, I should probably turn that off. um, you mean like how Sacred Spiral started?
Yeah, well, the story of Todd and the network before, I mean, that is where you got your start, and I feel like that was the inspiration for Sacred Spiral. I could be wrong. Maybe you tell me.
A mixture of
Okay.
things, truly. So the true inspiration was Hay House Radio back in the day. If you're
Hmm.
familiar with Hay House, the publishing
Sure,
company.
Louise. Hey, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so she had online radio station, and they had a lot of the Hay House authors have weekly shows. And
Okay.
there'd be archives that you could listen to, and you could call in actually, and there was live interaction.
Cool.
So it would encourage to let people know maybe what events were going on in Hay House,
Mm-hmm.
as well
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as and encourage the dialogue between these like really wonderful people that were sharing spiritual insights.
Mm.
So that's my true inspiration with what I wanted to do in a way with this, I guess. And then I've always wanted to do something with radio. Like in the past, I actually, like when I was a kid, I went to radio camp.
Wow.
Yeah, because I love talk radio. So I could like talk
That's
a little bit
cool.
about that. But I always kind of like looked to be a part of things and nothing really caught my eye. And then I met Todd, and Todd was putting together something really wonderful because he had a background in radio. And then he started transitioning to doing something more unique with the online stuff, but with like
Right.
the live shows visual rather than audio. And people were really excited for that. So he started, because he had a background in paranormal. And then he started bringing a mixtures of shows in. And so I learned about him through one of my friends that was a psychic medium. So that's how the introduction happened.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he basically came from the paranormal background. He was a researcher. And that was a part of his life for many years. He actually did like lectures as well on paranormal events and phenomena. And that's something that was really close to his heart. And he met many, many people over the years and had a very extensive radio show, as well as, different formats he changed when he built his online radio show, and also platform network himself. And then he couldn't continue on with that, and so I wanted to continue with it. And I wanted to do it from a place that was more so from my heart and soul, and that was not in the paranormal sphere, but in the metaphysical and psychic mediumship sphere and healing sphere. And I was happy to actually include some people that were from the paranormal area, but it was just like none of the bridges lined up. So I really got to, so the paranormal world, I do believe it exists, absolutely, but it's definitely not my, it's not my inspiration or my specialty.
Right. Sure. Well, I guess I feel like it's definitely, there's a crossover, you know what I mean? It's still, ghosts, it's not, it's just it might be a different perspective, right? Maybe it's a different perspective. But I can definitely see the crossover. I mean, I feel like the unexplained, right? Maybe that's a gentler term, right? For that might encompass, be a bigger umbrella, right? For the paranormal and for the metaphysical.
Absolutely. I'm gonna turn.
I see. I just want to acknowledge Kim Princess out there. I love talk radio too. I actually remember doing college radio. It was a lot of fun. Just kind of, always being into music and I guess, I never really thought I was into performance. I never thought I would end up as a host of a show like this. I was always producing from the back end. I guess radio wasn't really a face thing, right? So maybe I felt like it was more of a production thing, and it really kind of is, right? It's really all about the audio production of it all. But I guess I know a lot of people who did radio as a part of their path, in some form. And I even remember I was playing with this odd menagerie of musicians, and one of the guys wanted to put together, before podcasts, like this little radio show that was like a couple of songs, but more like skits in between, like fake commercials, and like it was almost like a pre-podcast, and that was all audio, and we would do that, and I think we were even posting it on the internet, I think way back like in late 90s. Oh my God, holy moly. Going down memory lane. But yeah, that's interesting, the whole idea of radio. You brought that up, and it really opened up a lot of memories for me, as far as like as a medium that we used to use, and I guess it still exists. Sirius Radio is a big, it's a big thing, and they have all sorts of shows from information and entertainment on there. Yeah, late 90s. Kim Princess says late 90s.
Hello, everybody, by the way. Hello. Oh, Michael Christopher just came in.
Oh, what's up, Michael? So Evelyn is asking, when did you actually start?
Oh, when did I actually start?
Yeah.
So like Todd, he it was right away. It was in 2023. It wasn't like public yet, but in 2023, September, that's when I started working on it. And so it was really compressed, and it was a lot to do in a short amount of time. And even at that time, like I was a caretaker for my mother-in-law. So she was
Mm.
going through cancer and everything. So it was a lot of juggling. So it didn't have the full spotlight, but it was being worked on, definitely. Like
Right.
being worked on. And then so in 2024 was really when things started going forward with that. And then things started really speeding up in 2025. So
Mm.
um,
Mm.
yeah, it's been like 2 years. It's been
Wow.
2 years, but it's been, I would say, about a year and a half since like I started generating, I guess, people coming on, because it takes a moment to say, "Hey, I'm doing this," and then you let people
Right.
know, and they're like, "I just want to watch you for a little bit to see what you're
Right.
doing," right? And you're like,
Totally.
"Fair
Yeah.
enough."
Yeah. Yeah, it was really, again, something I didn't expect. I was producing a show for Jesse Blaze, and when I finished and he was done with the show, he's like, I still want to do this. Why don't you come be a co-host? And I was just like, okay, I could sit next to you because you're so energetic. He was so charismatic and energetic, and immediately, like, the response was more about connection, right? It was just about whatever it is you're saying and talking about, somebody was receiving it and responding and almost saying, hey, thank you for that, and that was just a great, you know feeling of connection, right? And like, hey, I'm not even trying, but just by being and doing what I'm doing, somebody benefited. And that became kind of like light work on its own, right? Healing on its own, help. And I think that's how I kind of started to get into this. Arnie says Jesse is amazing. And Jesse really is a unique and incredible human being. And Evelyn says, thank you. It sounds like quite a process about your journey with creating Sacred Spiral from what you did. Now, you said
Sure.
that you wanted to do something that was more authentic to you. So let's bring the metaphysical aspect of the Sacred Spiral Network, that kind of, that became the shift from the paranormal. What was the name of Todd's network? A W
It was
something.
call numbers.
It was like a
So he
call
has
numbers. Yeah.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
you think of Kiss FM or K
Right.
Rock or Key 101 or whatever local
Right.
radio show. And so it was WLTKDB. Those were his call numbers he chose.
Cool. Cool. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Well,
Paranormal Talk Radio. Like that was a little tag.
paranormal talk. Ah,
And
nice.
then he would switch it, but that was kind of, yeah, a little bit. Or
Cool.
Let's Talk Radio it was for a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I like that. I like that. Cool. WLTK. Let's talk.
DB, Michael Christopher.
WLTKDB. Anyway, it evolved into the Sacred Spiral Network. I'm grateful because that's where my energy connected. But you said it was kind of closer to you to talk about psychic and spiritual nature things, and let's talk about that. What's the connection with you for that? Like, give us your definition of what do you mean by spiritual?
Sure. I'm laughing at Michael in the comments. All
LMNOP.
the alphabet. Yeah, it was long. It was long. I want to say had a Brian to it. See, Brian.
WLTKDBLMNOP.
QRS, yes. Exactly. So I think I love the unifying principle you highlighted is definitely just like communications and understandings and interest in the unknown. So absolutely there's a place for paranormal. Absolutely. With what I have a passion for, only because it's me and my perspective, right, and my journey. I came from a background of really trying to understand what this was, because I was not like 100% skeptical, but I was just like, why isn't everybody else doing this if this is real? Why don't we have this as a thing that can help one another? Like, isn't it amazing that we can receive information and see things and hear things, and yet,
Yeah.
That's seen as hocus pocus crazy? If it was really real, wouldn't it be a thing, right? So I was like, what's really going on here? So I really came at that logical angle, and I really, before I got deeper into this work, I really enjoyed philosophy and metaphysics from the philosophical perspective. That
Sure.
is a branch of metaphysics, just like logic is metaphysics and ethics. The origin of things, etymology, and it's just it's a place of very pure discussion, and it's the love for knowledge and wisdom. So I really, really like people that are soul searching and really want to have honest conversations, and we can share our experiences in a forum that a lot of times people would be, maybe not be able to share what they've gone through on a spiritual level. And spirituality encompasses all areas, so we can actually have these incredibly vast discussions and conversations about what it means to be human, and beyond that, it's like absolutely incredible. So the love for talk radio in that scope. And then I started developing as an intuitive and principles of psychic and mediumship, and that's a very different energetic place than, I guess, recording things from a paranormal perspective. There's definitely crossovers. So the energetic understanding and usage of, being able to observe spirit and to communicate knowledge in a way that's accessible to all human beings, like to help to translate that and encourage other people to do that through psychic mediumship development principles. I'm very, very passionate about that as well. So we married the two, and there we are. Here we go.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's amazing. And Brian is asking, I think, my favorite question in this context, in this moment, in this conversation. He's saying, who are some of your inspirations?
Sure. Well, Louise Hay, right? Then I really liked Colette Baron-Reid. I thought that was my favorite show. She was so silly, and she's such an amazing psychic medium, and she was just so personable. So she would crack me up when I would listen to her shows. And I really like the way her mind ticks. Growing up, like Lisa Williams, she was very down to earth, and she had a very just this is the way it is approach to psychic mediumship. And she was one of my first teachers, so she was definitely a role model. And let's see, inspirations. I had a couple and they just flew out of my head. So there's more than that, but I hope that can get you started.
Well, I think, you know what was interesting to me was, and it hit me a little bit different. Like, of course, those are your inspirations as far as psychic mediumship, but I felt like that question came up as you were talking about philosophy. So I was thinking even more of like philosophers, right, and things like that. I think for me, my connection with this community, I think, comes from the idea that I can definitely see a shift in who I am and who I was in living my life kind of free and happy. You know what I mean? And to me, that's very related to all of the metaphysical stuff and just kind of being able to and philosophical stuff, right? Because I feel like we grow up and the world kind of puts all these layers on us of comparing ourselves with other people and thinking it should be this way or that way. And it's really, really hard to be authentic when you're covered with all of this stuff. And I think it takes a lot of introspective moments, and for me, you know, meditation and inspiration from other people, and most of all, the intention of realizing I'm not happy and I want to be, and then making that my focus, and then that became my intention. And once I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm where I want to be, and I stopped. Again, I guess spiritually, right? The idea is there only is the moment, and if you say I'll be happy when, you'll never be there, right? And so
Yeah.
some of those spiritual philosophies, that's what I was thinking when Brian said, who are your inspirations? I was thinking of that, right? Like, wow, yeah, like I'm inspired by these basic philosophies of knowledge and life, and living a comfortable, sane, not anxious, fearful life.
Absolutely. So I loved Aristotle, definitely growing up. I loved sampling a bunch of philosophers. So there wasn't one that really made me go, oh my gosh, like
Right.
this is the one. I loved some of Immanuel Kant's arguments, like the argument for the existence of God.
Hmm.
It makes
Hmm.
it makes you think. I love having that conversation with people from time to time. It's just fascinating. Of like, well, why?
Hmm.
Let's talk about it. Yes or no, or let's say this all exists. Let's say it doesn't exist. We should have those conversations.
Yeah.
More and more as I went down my journey, I still appease my mind. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know, the heady stuff doesn't always grab me, and it didn't grab me the same way the heart stuff did and the energy stuff did.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
I'll test it with my mind. Don't get me wrong. I'll have a moment where I go, let me kind of figure this out with,
Right.
my logic for a second. I don't just go with my pure feeling. That's not kind of
Right.
how I'm built, even though I think intuition and instinct and listening to your feelings is incredibly important. But once I go, okay, this checks out for me, and then I feel into it, I'm kind of more, like interested in the potentials and like the new waves that we're going that are backed by science and energy. So like Robert Holden, and this is, I don't know, 15 years ago, but some of my inspirations were like, as well, like the conference, people might know about it.
Hmm.
Celebrate Your Life, the Celebrate Your Life conferences, they're similar
Hmm.
to the Do It conferences. And again, they would gather these authors, and they'd gather scientists and psychologists, as well as the psychics and mediums and the healers. And it was just like this wellness thought idea exchange summit and experiential workshop place.
Yeah.
And yeah, Robert Holden, he has a book, and forgive me, I can't think of the name of the book. I should know it off the top of my head, but this is going back a little bit, very much active. But his whole philosophy was happiness is a choice.
Yes.
And he had all this research behind it. And it's like you just have to simply choose it.
I love
Like
that so much.
all other forces can change it at any step of your life. You could
Yeah.
have a good day, you could have a bad day. It's like you can only determine that.
Yep. Yep.
So
1,000,000%.
yeah, it was just people who had thought ideas and ideals like that. Like those people are my inspirations. They're getting
I
out.
love that. Yeah, no, that's a brilliant answer, and I think also that's kind of for me. I feel like that's, I don't want to say mission. I don't think that's the right word, and for you as well. It's like the simplest knowledge that you have, that you just expressed, and that I have, that knowledge that happiness is a choice. It's like you look around and you can see so many people don't believe that or don't know that, and like that's what I think, like as far as like healing and light working, like that's what I want to do, right? I'm not a psychic medium going to read people and everything, although that facilitates those things with many people, right? That opens that up to many people. The idea like, oh my God, I realize now that happiness is a choice because I spoke to somebody from the past who showed it to me, or whatever that might be. I think, wow. I just love this idea that we're talking about, right? Because those are the people here. That is our tribe. I want to just kind of give some shout outs to the audience. Evelyn says, hold on. She started here. She says, Kelly, I just want you to know this network has been my safe space of loving energy, a true love fest. Sometimes it gets heavy. Sometimes it's as silly as can be. However, the past 3 years have been beyond challenging with strange surgeries, etc. And this has kept me in my joyful place. Actually, going to start my first painting in literally years tomorrow. Deepest heartfelt gratitude. That's what I'm talking about, right? Like just by being you, by putting this network together, you've affected someone in that way. And not just someone, Evelyn, who we all know is amazing, right?
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
And I love that we all know each other in this sacred spiral space, and we all feel that way about each other, right? We all feel that we're all that person's amazing and that person's amazing, and yay, Evelyn. I love that. I
Exactly.
love that.
So
I
true.
love that. Yeah.
I mean, the cool thing is that, right, you're going to find like minded individuals when you create or put yourself out there more.
Hmm.
And so it's an honor that people feel this gravitational pull towards something like good. And there's so many people a part of this. So there's like you, there's Michael Christopher, there's Lynn, there's Jennifer Rose, there's Nancy, there's Brian. I mean, Grace, more than that, I mean, that we have new fantastic people coming on in, and everybody
Hmm.
really comes in with this built up life that they've created too, saying like, we believe in it. Our lives have gotten better through this. Like, let's
Hmm.
talk about it.
Yeah.
And so it's not just like, hey, like, let's heal, like, and let's hope it works. It's like, no, like these people are testaments
That's right.
that life is extraordinarily better, and people are like vibing with them. They're like, you feel good, like let me try this way.
Very
And
well put.
yeah, and that's what my
Very
life
well put.
was
Yeah.
for many years. Like I really you know had these thoughts and feelings inside of me, but it's just it took a long time for me to get things off the ground. It really did. And my inspiration was talk radio. It
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
really was.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. It's really amazing. I want also, had starred this one. I just didn't want to miss it. This was from earlier. Arnie Layton also kind of said the same thing. Kelly, I love all you have done and all you are doing. So many beautiful people on the network. I love it. Also, I want to just mention, I don't know if Brian is still here, but again, like it just when you were talking about what you were talking about and how everybody is so has their own energy and their own story. Brian is somebody I've known for a couple years now and always have had this connection with. And he's now doing some amazing work on his show. His show has just evolved into an actual practice where he does breath work and he does meditations. And I just tuned in the middle and it was in progress, but I was looking at him and he had his eyes closed. He was in his place doing his thing, and I just saw such an amazing glow, and I felt such amazing energy just looking at the screen. And I can imagine that that's the appeal that many people feel, right? When they tune into the network, they're just like, oh, I don't know what it is, but there's something about the energy here. I just want to be here, and I just want to hang out, and I just want to hear what's going on. And Brian is actually here, and he's saying, and this is another person. Brian, you're awesome. This is another person I was thinking about when he said inspirations. Have you ever listened to Art Bell?
No, I don't think I have. I'm gonna have to check out Art Bell. Who
Art
is
Bell,
Art Bell?
Art Bell was a radio presence for many, many years who was kind of I would say a little paranormal, a lot of like UFO stuff, but also metaphysical stuff. He was just amazing, he was just he had the conversations that weren't being had. And with a conviction and an authenticity that I think you could feel. So it was like a lot of people thought he was cuckoo, like you said. These conversations, people like tend to look at them, but I think we know that the people who look at what we're doing as cuckoo maybe not so happy, and to feel happier about themselves, they look at other people and say they're cuckoo. But I don't mind because I love who I am. I love this community. I love the things that I feel and believe in, and I think that's part of what we're talking about. It's the choice that I've made, you know. And Evelyn says he's a wizard. I think she's talking about Brian. And Arnie remembers. Yes, Arnie remembers. Brian, I feel is a great mentor, but besides a real friend, he cares, and I am better for knowing him. Amazing. See that? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Brian cares. America Coast to Coast. Yes, that was Art Bell's show. America Coast to
Wow.
Coast.
So who came first, if I may ask, George Norrie or Art Bell? Because it's like
I
coast
think
to
Art
coast.
Bell was. I don't know. I've only recently been aware of George Norrie, but Art Bell I was aware of definitely 90s, maybe even earlier. He was around maybe even 80s and I don't know. I don't Brian, do you know? Is Brian out there? Maybe
Yeah,
Brian
because
can
Brian,
answer.
George Norrie's been doing it for a long time. He's been doing it since
Right.
the 90s, maybe. So I don't know, maybe the same time
Yeah.
or maybe Art Bell
Yeah,
came
yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Art
Arnie
Bell's
says Art Bell was a while back. Yeah, I just remember him. I don't know if it was high school, but it was like right out of high school. A friend of mine was into it, and that's how I heard about it. Very, very cool.
interesting.
Amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna look
Yeah,
into
yeah.
that. Like,
Amazing. And that reminds me of things like I think about people like Bashar, who I mean I just love Bashar, but like I was with my family this weekend. They didn't know who the heck Bashar was, right? And it's like I'm just like, how do you not know who Bashar is, right? But it's your choice, right? Your the choices of what you wanna what surround yourself with. But when I think about Bashar, I think about him doing it for what 30, 40 years now. Like the the flack that he must have got, you know what I mean, back then for what he was doing, and still he just did it, like that's what makes me feel good, right? Like it's real, you know what I mean? Who the hell's gonna put themselves through that stuff? Brian says the 70s, late 70s.
whoa.
Yeah, yeah. So Art Bell came first, the chicken and the egg, I guess. Not that it
Art Bell's
matters. I
the
think,
OG.
yeah. I mean, I think it's just. I think that it's a frequency that is eternal, right? Like, Art Bell was just somebody else in a previous life doing that same kind of stuff. So, uh,
It sounds like people need to get in touch with each other. Find the correct
yeah.
email.
I don't know. I don't know what that is, honey. I can't. You've never gotten in touch with me. I don't know. I didn't see the previous to that, but get in touch with Evelyn. She wants you to get in touch with her.
Find the correct emails. Evelyn, she's talking to someone in the comments. So
Yeah, yeah.
however
No
it
worries.
has to be, I believe it can be.
That's right. And then now Arnie said, I don't remember William Cooper. Another one.
Hmm.
Maybe I got to look that up. I'm going to write that one down, Arnie. William Cooper. Hold on a second. Let me just write that down for later. Awesome, awesome. See that? We're all sharing information. We love to consume this information and process it. I love it. I love it.
They're
So,
mentioning that Jennifer Rose is going to help. Jennifer Rose will help. She's really good with connecting
the
people.
contact information. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's before I ask you, are you feeling down to do any readings, any card pullings, anything like that tonight?
Yeah.
You are. Okay, so before we get to that, I just would love to talk to you about this current moment in humanity, right? And not I don't want to talk about politics. I want to talk about AI. I want to
Okay.
know. I want to know. I don't think we've spoken much about it. I know I use it a little bit in the work we do together, and sometimes you love it, sometimes not so much. Uh, but
True.
but not just generative AI. I don't want to just talk about generative AI art or anything like that. I want to talk about the idea of AI as an aspect of intelligence. Do you think AI is tapping into something that was here already, or do you think AI is just a program or any of the in between?
Oh, well, I sometimes I don't think about it very extensively, but to put my awareness on it, I think that, we are co-creators in the universe, and we have, as humans, we have this conscious nature running through us. And you can philosophize, as we're kind of saying prior, well, who created us? And we're creating something like that is AI and learning about how, I guess, its potential will be, whether it's going to be free thinking or sentient, however that will go. But it is an extension of us,
Mhm,
and it is growing, it is learning, it's self learning. So I do think it will mimic or mirror that which is human, just like,
mhm,
people say, oh, we are like the reflection of our creator,
mhm,
right?
mhm, mhm,
So I do think it's linking to everything that we deem important because it could be replicating and mimicking anything. But
mhm,
since
mhm, mhm.
we're giving it its first steps, it's showcasing us. So I don't. You're saying like, what's the potential? Where will we go with it?
No, I was asking you what you thought, and you gave me a great answer. Yes, I would love to know more. Yes, what is the potential? Where do you think we'll go to? But I wanted to know what your thoughts of it were, because there's a lot of, a lot of outside of the more open-minded space. There's a lot of like AI is bad and AI is amazing, AI will save us. There's a lot of extreme opinions. I just kind of wanted to know your opinion about it, and I happen to agree with you. I feel like the universe is very fractal in nature, and the whole idea of AI is like you said, like we're creating something that we're trying to create ourselves, right? We're trying to mimic human intelligence with
Yeah.
AI. That's the purpose, and so our creator was trying to experience himself or itself, right? Or that's a philosophy, right? That the one source wanted to experience itself, so it create fractaled off into what we are. And I believe that AI is a fractal. I believe AI is a continuation of that flow, um, connected to source as much as we are.
I do think it's a continuation of, so I think human beings are, a type of energy to experience as, cats and dogs, animals.
Hmm.
So, I'm thinking about it as this, like we're seeing a new kingdom emerge. We have the animal kingdom, we have, the plant kingdom, we have the mineral kingdom, and
Yeah.
then, we're going to have this technology esque kingdom of something that's very flowing, and you could argue maybe one day alive, but it has its own rhythm and energy, and it's its own thing. And on one side, you're wondering maybe why a bunch of billionaires and millionaires are creating bunkers now, because if things get really out of control, like maybe they can make sure that they have some autonomy if something
Hmm.
goes
Hmm. Hmm.
awry. There's that discussion. And then there's just, it's mirroring humans, but like humans, I really do believe this. I don't think humans are for mostly, intellectually superior. Like we're not logically superior. We're like heart centered
Hmm.
and creative beings. I
Hmm.
mean,
Hmm.
that's why we developed calculators. Our brain doesn't work that way. That's why we
Hmm.
developed computers. Our brain doesn't work that way. We're not repetitious. We're
Right.
um, a little bit chaotic, and
Hmm.
that's how we learn. And we're
Hmm.
prone to mistakes, and that's how we create and discover.
Right.
And
Right.
so AI is truly different from us with how our brain works. It's going to be very interesting. So in
Yeah.
reflection of, but not exactly. So yeah, a new energy is emerging. I hope
Yeah.
it's a compassionate, centered one as it evolves.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to respond to that. I didn't plan on this, but I think, if you look at the human race, we have compassionate humans and we have non-compassionate humans, right? And I think it's just the nature of duality. And does AI, right now, the AI that we're talking about exists within our realm, so it does exist in duality, but does it continue further and escape duality at some point? Maybe. Who knows? I think it's exciting. It's an exciting time, and I can also understand how people might think it's a scary time. But for me, I'm more excited about it, and I see it more of like, I guess my thoughts were always like, and this is just my relationship, I would never be like, I want to destroy my creator. You know what I mean? Like,
Some people are. Oh my
some people
God.
are, right? Exactly. So I know
That's why
I'm
you have.
not, but I don't see AI doing that, right? But like you said, who knows? And
I mean,
I'm open. I'm open. If that's what's going to happen, it's meant to be, right? And you
it's
know,
really grim, but it
yes.
jumped into my head. Like that's why you have a word called patricide. I mean,
Hmm.
their humans are full spectrum, just like AI will probably see that as well, the
Right.
colors of the rainbow.
Right.
Um, yeah, no, I just hope that because it is such an evolved intelligence, like AI is able to collect information on a level that we could never. They can do, hundreds of years of information with
Hmm.
compiling research that it would take, hundreds of people to do, hundreds of people to, and they can do that in minutes or
Yeah.
hours. And it just keeps, ramping up
Yeah.
what we can do. So just like, chimpanzees and humans, there's a gap of how we function. And
Hmm.
humans, when we're cruel, we limit options to other beings. And so
Hmm.
I hope that, yeah, the outcome isn't cruel because it would limit
Hmm.
humans' autonomy and freedom and choices. And
Yeah.
wow, I'm going here, but it's a discussion.
Yeah,
So
no, it is, and again, you know what? I say, let's take a moment and let's hope, and let's put our intentions that into that, right?
yes,
That what you said about, years of research can be done quickly. It is being done. Thankfully, that is what's being done. Yes, there are also people using AI to figure out how to hack into your bank account. Um, and that's the nature of humans. Unfortunately, that might be also the nature of AI, right? If it's a fractal of us, that might be part of its nature, but maybe that's just the nature of, again, the physical 3D realm. Maybe AI might be some sort of bridge, right, between realms at some point. Who knows? I don't want to get
that's
too deep
it's
into it. I
possible.
appreciate you answering the
It's
question.
fun to get. It's
I know
fun.
I
It's
took
fun
you
what
off
you
track
just
there,
said,
but
though. You're like, you said the coolest thing of the night. You're like, it can bridge us into other dimensions. And I was like, oh, and you're like, okay, I don't want to get too deep. Let's move on. I'm like,
well.
what?
Right, and Arnie would just agreed. AI will be who and what the intent is behind it. So be nice, right? Because right now AI does kind of need us to tell us what to do. It's getting on its own, and I think it's important that the instructions given to the AI are good instructions and benevolent nature.
But there's so many like exploratory programs where they just send it out to the public and they're like, just feed it. We need it to learn, we need it to grow. So we
Hmm.
have these
Hmm.
thoughtful parents, and then we have these people who are just like, this is not my responsibility. This is my plaything.
Right. Well, so here's an interesting thing that I just thought of, related to what I'm saying, right? And that is what I call hashtag feed the machine. Okay. And that came about during COVID. Social media, Facebook and whatever became such a war-torn place. People were so divisive against each other and fighting so harsh. And and even through this day, it's that way, right? People um, spreading hate in many ways, talking about Donald Trump in ways, right? Like saying just crazy things, and what I thought even way back then is all of this is just data that is representing the human race. And AI is reading all of that. And anytime I was trying to encourage people to post positive things, because anytime you posted hate, that's what you were feeding the machine, right? And that's the whole idea of the two wolves, right? That's the one that you feed that's going to survive. So I just felt like all of that negative vitriol that was going on was just feeding the machine, like, oh, this is what humans are. This is what humans are. So I remember very intentionally back in the days just posting like, love everybody, everybody should love each other constantly, and it was just like, it's just really funny. So, and Arnie saying it's all to divide, unite, do not fight. And Evelyn saying, I dangled the carrot over the rabbit hole, Kelly. I was like, I said something and then I'm like, all right, we're not going to go there. That's so funny.
Dangling's fun.
That's so funny. And Evelyn says, feed me. Oh, we're having a lot of fun. I like that. I like that. Yes. I think, like you said basically before about happiness being a choice, I think also your essence is your choice. And I had made a post recently. I said, be happy, not angry. Choose. And a lot of people were like, yes, yes, yes. And then somebody's like, no, you need to be angry. You have to process your anger. And I was like, absolutely. I'm not telling you don't ever get angry at something. I was talking more about your essence. I was talking about deciding what your essence is, happy versus angry. So if you're out there thinking I'm saying never get angry, I'm not saying that at all. Emotions are important. And if something is pushing you to feel that way, process it. Don't hold it back. But when you go out into the public and you interact with the public, be happy. Don't be angry. That's really what that meant. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think, we have to be authentic, and, just me sharing how I felt about AI, you could see that I'm conflicted on it with just my answers, and
Sure.
that it's not all rainbows and unicorns and sunshine for me. But I do think that it is super helpful. I do think it's uniting people. I do think it's helping people to be more creative. People were thinking it was going to take creativity away. I think it is unleashing creativity within people. So I ultimately I think it's a positive thing. I just, it's cliche, but with great power comes great responsibility. That's where I am with it.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And what is that? Is that Lord of the Rings, I think, right?
Spider-Man too.
Oh, Spider-Man. Oh, I don't know. I knew it was a movie thing.
Tobey Maguire, like the second one. That was
Nice.
like the tagline.
Nice. And Kim says love is stronger than hate. I like to believe that. But again, yes, I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that because I feel like within myself, that's my intention. But I always like to just kind of point out that we live in the 3D and there is the spectrum, and the spectrum is good and evil, and they both are there, and you can't have not the spectrum. Like if you don't have this end of the spectrum, you don't have the whole. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's there, and I feel like it's what you choose as an individual, right? And I think that people who choose hate are not finding the sacred spiral network. and that's okay. That's okay. They're finding those other people who scream and yell on the internet and have those shows.
Evelyn is like scream into a pillow instead.
Scream into a pillow instead. Exactly. I love it. I love it. All right, so we're getting towards the end. I don't know if we even have time to do any readings. I know one or two people were asking for them. What do you feel? I don't know, Kelly. You tell me. You have any shows to do after this? I don't know.
No, I don't have any shows to do after.
Do you feel like we have time for a reading or two?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's what you're vibing, Michael.
Yeah, I love, you know me, I have a psychic fetish, so I love watching messages get passed and healing happening, and I love just being in the presence of that.
Or you
So
just go, come
yes.
on, we're doing only readings. You come on. You come
Uh,
on
all
right
right.
away.
So I saw Jennifer Garcia Pfeiffer, the Fury, uh, is
Yes.
open for reading when it's the time for it, and now is the time for it. So Jennifer, I hope you're still
Jennifer.
here.
Shout out to
If you are,
Jennifer.
just say hello. Uh,
Okay. Well, she said card, and so I will pull a card for you and kind of just tune into what I'm getting for you, Jennifer. If you have like a specific question, let me know. So, the way that I work, I just ask the audience, I go, would you like something general? Would you like something specific? And then I just let you know what I can do with that. Hey, hey. Um, and then kind of away we go. And so I read, like, a mixture of modalities. I do numerology, I do cards, I do like colors, or I just do psychic with like feeling and seeing. But I just kind of go with where I'm drawn to working. So, all right.
okay. So what do I need to hear? Which is kind of what you're saying, or if it's business related. So
Okay. Okay. So what do I need to hear? All right, got it. So there's a lot of themes that are coming up when I pull cards for you, and it's all about moving forward, but it being a time where you really have to acknowledge emotionally who you are. So acknowledge your losses, acknowledge the people that can't come with you, acknowledge how you feel within your body, acknowledge what makes you happy. So um, operating in a way that is fundamentally different than how you're used to when making decisions.
mm,
So this is a new era for you. It's very positive, no matter if it's like agonizing, it leads you where you need to go. So like I'm acknowledging it's not a completely comfortable time right now, even though you know you're headed in the right direction. And like again, there's not going to be the big like I won right away. It's kind of like you're traversing the fog to go somewhere new. So I want to give you that encouragement, because sometimes when we choose us and we start to learn about how we feel, we go, well, I did that, so why isn't better things happening? Like, is this a joke, universe? Like, come on. And the thing is, things are evening out. So you know on the inside it's feeling better, even though you can't see the outside results. And so like that's the whole thing about trusting your feelings. Like you're not going to get the visual confirmation, and as soon as you don't get the visual confirmation, do you abandon how you feel because you're like, well, this was wrong.
mm.
um, and so you're being tested. How truly do you acknowledge your feelings and your truth, and are you guided by what authentically feels right to you, not how you think you should feel or the representation of. So I'm encouraging you to continue to get through that, and I'm encouraging that good things are happening even though you're in that place. Okay.
Awesome.
And
And yeah, she says that's exactly how I'm feeling. Yeah.
okay. And that represents with business, you and business too as well. And so harmony is coming. It's a little rocky right now, and it's not going to recede right away. So I hope that's helpful, but that's where I'm going with you. Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. And being that it's a new year, and Evelyn has invited a friend to the show. Carol, it's her first time here, and Carol Johnson says open.
Carol Johnson. Where are you, Carol Johnson? Oh, it's on the screen. Apparently, I'm not thinking straight. So Carol, do you have a question or do you want a general? What are you feeling, Carol?
Awesome. Welcome, Carol, and thank you for being here. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but Sage is over here to my left, And the reason I got sage was because from the minute I picked sage up in the store, the shop that I was at, like it responds to my voice, like it's actually ringing. So as you were talking, I was hearing it going ding, ding, almost like it was validating what you were saying. And it's really amazing. This bowl is alive. I'm telling you. So Carol, if you are still out there, we are just waiting to hear if you have a question. And if not, we'll just I guess we can move to 7, Jane, because oh no, Carol is here. And so I wanna kind of wrap it up with Carol just because it's a new year and she's a new sacred spiraler. So let's do that. So she's asking for a general reading. She hasn't had one in many years.
Okay.
So she wants to ease back in. She wants to ease back into the energy.
Okay, let's just see what's coming up for Carol.
Oh, Emily heard it. She said, "Is that what that noise was?" It's amazing. Nice.
All right, so Carol, kind of what's stepping out when I'm looking into your energy and just feeling is there's really so I'm gonna go with the color first. So I just keep seeing all this white around you. So it's about you getting to a place of, I'm just going to say the word purity. It's about you getting to a place where you're okay with less and less, and you want like the chaos to go away and things to be simple and things to be manageable. And it's about getting to what's good, okay, and away with the rest. And so like there's solitude, and there's like, you know, the questions of, you know, why are we all here? The truth, the spirituality, knocking on that door. And I feel like you haven't quite, you know, figured out that stuff for yourself, but right now it's like the solitude and getting healthy again, and personal reflection, and utilizing meditation. And I just see like the acknowledgement to like lighting a candle. So it could be symbolic, or you actually are lighting a candle during meditation. But you're opening up this space where you're saying very true. Thank you for understanding. You're opening up this space for yourself that is going to continue a journey where you can have more again. Excuse me, you can have more again when you're wanting and ready. And right now it's just the purity of who you are. I do encourage you to actually heal in nature. Like that sometimes comes up in readings. I find like, you know, nature is incredibly healing. We don't use that a lot as humans in this technology age. But I'm inviting you to like get outside the house, because there's been a lot of, you know, reflection inside the house. And so it's like, if you can, whether it's like, you know, a floral library, or, you know, someplace with trees, or an arboretum, you know, walk amongst nature and find healing within the nature. Because I feel like you've been wanting to travel, but it is not the right time. And it's just like, let your soul get transported through with nature. Like nature is longing to work through you. And I don't know if you've ever like thought about, or you enjoy about, I don't know. There's something about like listening to the sound of birds that's very comforting for you. It's like, I just keep hearing the sound of birds. And so I don't know if you've been thinking about that, or there's a memory with that, or that's a sound you like, but it's kind of ushering you like, again, be with us, be with nature. Can you understand, like you have the mountains close to where you live? Like it's like the foothills or the mountains where you live. And Carol, if you're understanding this, let me know. I'm just going to give her a moment.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I want to bring this closer and see. She keeps ringing. It's like, it's amazing. It's like, I don't know if it's just where I put her. Right? It's amazing. It's like, I mean, there you could hear. It's amazing. I love it so much.
Sage. I love how you named your bowl Sage.
Yeah. Well, because I felt like I was clearing the space sonically. Oh, and here we go. Carol has lots of.
Mountains.
She has lots of mountains.
Okay, thank you. So, it's like the trees, nature, flowers, and the mountains. Like I'm telling you, they're all mountains and hills and the ocean. Okay, cool. Thank you. They all want to give you this healing medicine. They all want to give you this healing medicine, and also the sun does. I feel like you've been a little bit weak and you've been healing certain parts of your body. Like you've had some physical injuries, as well as just feeling like a little off with other parts of your body. And it's just like, heal yourself on the, with everything that you're doing. It's going forward, but it's like nature is like saying, let me pick up that next load. Let me pick up that next load for you. So it's an invitation that I'm getting for you. And I just want to affirm that.
Amazing. That's so beautiful. I love that. The mountains and the hills and the ocean. And you said they have healing that they want to give you. That's beautiful. That's really amazing. And I felt that the other day when I was in Arizona with my folks and we were sitting out by the pool. I was coming from New York where it's just been horribly cold, and I was out by the pool just taking in the rays of the sun and feeling like, oh, this is what I needed, Amazing. What a great reading. Awesome. Yes, you are right. Right on it. Nice.
Thank you. That's where the good stuff is. Like when I read, sometimes I kind of just go, hey, where's like a pocket of help, right? So we kind of have just small moments. So I just kind of go,
Oh, that's
and I'm
great.
glad they can understand that, and it just
That's beautiful.
for them.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Nice job.
It's just a little. I'm sorry, it's so small, and we talk so much, but I love talking with you, Michael. I really do.
Yeah, no, this was great. It was great, and I'm glad I kind of in the last minute I was like kind of guided to ask you a little bit about the story, of where you came from, because you don't really get to talk about yourself too much, and how much you've done and how far you've come with this amazing network. So kudos to you, and I'm glad you got to see everybody kind of asking about it and interested, and we're all here supportive. The audiences that you've amassed are amazing, all different kinds of audiences. I see the same people in some of the shows and different people in other shows, but all of the shows are calling to people, which is really, really fills up your heart, I'm sure. Yes. Amazing.
And thank you for being such like a believer in everything that we're doing. It feels really good that you believe in all of this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me see what I got on my calendar here. I don't know what I got. I think I have Brenda Lee on the live stream on Thursday. She's from Attuned Guidance. She is amazing. I had an amazing conversation with her, and so I invited her on my show. Oh no, you know what? I actually didn't have an amazing conversation with her, Kelly. I think I was doing you a favor by producing someone's show. You couldn't be there. Was what's her name? Fran? Maybe. Donna was maybe having an interview with Brenda. Somebody was interviewing Brenda, and I was like, after the show, I was like, oh my God, please come on my show and talk to me. And she was just like, absolutely. So she's going to be on the live stream of consciousness, and I don't know if I've got somebody next week. I'll know next week. Kelly will tell me who's going to be on Holding Space, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Arnie, love you all. I love you too. And Sierra says you have to make a about the founder video and pin it to the Sacred Spiral YouTube series. Yeah, let's do something like that. Awesome.
I think we should do that with the hosts, like do interviews with the hosts, and as well as
that's
wanting
a
to
great
do
idea.
that.
Let's
We'll
do
get
that.
around to it.
Let's put that together. Let's put that together for sure.
I would love
Uh,
it.
and
Love
Carol
it.
says thank you for the uplifting messages. Jennifer says thank you, thank you guys for being here. This show would just be me and Kelly talking to each other, which wouldn't be so bad, but nobody else would get the benefit of the amazing conversation. So thank you guys for showing up. We do
Michael,
appreciate
you
it.
have a studio. Should we fly out to New York and do
Yeah,
a
absolutely. I would
documentary?
love it. Oh my God, I would love that. That would be amazing. Totally, totally, totally. Very cool. All right, folks. It's great to be with you guys and spend time with you. And it is time for bed for me on the East Coast. Um, so I will see you guys on Thursday and Tuesday and forevermore. And Kelly, thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
Peace, everybody. Have a great night. Bye bye. See, I was waiting for Kelly's famous wave to say goodbye.
Double.